the surging costs of the grocery store, and the recession that President Biden says doesn't exist. But if you dare complain about it, you're probably just suffering from white privilege.
Inflation, it's almost a privilege to care about inflation as your #1 issue. The same is true of gas prices, or even the idea that it's the economy, stupid. I always found that analysis lacking because as a black person, I don't want to get killed on the way to my job.
Yeah, listen, if you just lost your house because of a flood in Kentucky, if you just lost your livelihood because it burnt down in a wildfire, if you just lost your life because you are the wrong color and you were pulled over somewhere, inflation doesn't really matter to you or to your loved ones.
So, Greg, black Americans, they don't care about inflation at all.
No,
Not the #1 issue.
Emily pointed out the luxurious backdrop of that guy's house. Apparently, he doesn't have to worry about inflation either. This is a fairly racist comment. I mean, when you think about it, that only white people have to worry about inflation because I guess black people don't buy things, or they don't run small businesses or large businesses. They don't have the same concerns that other people do, getting food on their table. It's an idiotic kind of thing to say. She's inferring that somehow minorities are outside this economy. And I'm wondering, the strategy behind that is that because economy is one thing that affects everybody, right? And the left can't accept that unless they write the article. And this is what's amazing. The next day, she's going to say this: minorities are getting hit hardest by this economic slowdown. So she's going to, they play both sides of the fence on this one. They go, minorities and women hit hardest. And then it's like, oh, this is just white privilege. Then she also said she was worried about getting shot on the way home. Well, what is she talking about? Crime. But if you bring up crime, what will she say? Oh, that's probably racist.
I don't know. Do you really think she is concerned about getting shot every day?
Look, I don't know, but regardless, her logic was totally lacking. 77% of Americans, that's over 3 out of 4, report feeling anxious about their financial situation. They are most worried about their financial future. That's all Americans. That's just not one race or one color. Food banks, they have 20 to 30% less inventory right now, and the demand is spiking 10 to 15% across the country. Is that limited to one race? No, not at all. Bread is up 12%. For her to relegate that to one race is, it's sort of racist in and of itself.
Is it a racist comment that she made?
It's not. What she said is not true, nor is it going to advance any serious objectives, which is to try to figure out ways in which to bring prices down and provide more opportunity and security in communities across the country. I said it yesterday. It hurt me to say it, but I agree with you again. This is
we're on a roll.
But one thing I do hope we do: everybody's got to turn the volume down talking about race. I mean, crime is bipartisan, inflation is bipartisan. And we should all be happy that we got that fellow in Afghanistan who's the second in command Al Qaeda, because we're Americans. So some issues there are, race is a part of it. This is certainly not one of them.
Yeah. Dagan.
This just shows red wave, because in November, because this is all they have left. This is you float that little helium-filled balloon to see if it, see if it looks good. And that's what's going on here. So instead, this is all they have. The only way that they have to talk the left about inflation is if you care. She's saying exactly to Greg's point, if you feel somewhat upset that you can't take your family out to dinner, if you feel somewhat upset that you have to eat spaghetti instead of steak, well, you're a bigot. That's where, and it's insane, but they're gasping because they have no way of messaging on inflation because it was, well, created by left-wing liberal runaway spending. And they're still doing it. Still doing it.
So this was a white privilege trial.
Yes.
Got it.
If Democrats win, if they win the Senate, we'll see what the conversation is then.
Okay, yeah. We will see, won't we?
You keep praying on that.